Oh, I'm live. I was waiting to set up live, but I am live. So good evening, or good afternoon, good morning, to whatever time you're watching this. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. And my name is Astra, and I share on Tuesdays my love of tea. But also as a mindfulness mentor for wellbeing in the workplace and founder of S.T.O.P Yoga, I also share meditations, and I share practices which will hopefully benefit the viewers, people watching, for struggles, you know, the things that you're dealing with at the moment. So I'm just going to check to see how many people we have on today. If you have jumped on live, please just tap your name or just say, hey, give me a wave, and then I'll wave back. And I do hope that you're very well today. And for anybody that is managing ill health, just sending you love and, you know, healing wishes at this time. And it is very much a time of global stress, I would say. And for those of you who may not know, it is actually International Stress Awareness Week this week, which feels slightly ironic in the UK, given that we are now back into a lockdown from Thursday, which, you know, it just feels, everything feels very uncertain and unstable, and it's, you know, a huge inconvenience, but also financially, you know, it's a huge strain for many people. So this is a time of high stress for many people, and it's a week of stress awareness. So if you're not familiar with how Tea Time Tuesday, how I host it, is that I encourage you to take a break for tea. So if you haven't got tea with you because you weren't aware that I was jumping on, this is your opportunity. You can go and get a cup of tea, your tea of choice. I normally share my tea. So this today I'm drinking my own tea, which I've brewed, which is fresh mint and chamomile, and I'll be using that for the tea meditation. And before we go into the meditation, I will be going over a little bit some reflections I have on stress and how I feel, or I think is a useful way of approaching stress, because a lot of the times when we're talking about emotional and psychological stress, it's not something that is external to us, even though it does feel in that way. It's all in the mind, and therefore we can use different tools to tackle it. And I'm going to be sharing, as I said before, a technique called S.T.O.P, which is really easy and a way of it's really transferable. You know, it's a short meditation, and I think it was developed originally by Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he's a very well-known mindfulness psychologist, or I would say he's a mindfulness practitioner first and foremost. I believe he has quite a strong Buddhist practice, but he's very well known for bringing mindfulness to the Buddhism stroke mindfulness to the West in a way that kind of combines with cognitive therapy. So for some of you will be very familiar with Jon Kabat-Zinn, but yeah, so he developed the S.T.O.P meditation, and that's been done in different versions, but I'm going to be doing my version today, and just talking a little bit about what I know to work. So I work with people on one-to-one basis. I teach mindfulness-based yoga, also mindfulness practices, and I know what people say helps them. I've been doing yoga myself personally for 20 years now. So I came to yoga really early on, maybe just before 20, I think I was. And it was really about managing stress at the time. I had quite a stressful job, and yoga was something that I was told would help stress, and at the time it was pain as well. And it did, and it literally transformed my life, and that's why I share it, and that's why I make my business wellness. And one of my mottos is that I help people transform stress into strength. And I do this through little techniques, and as I said, I'm going to be doing that through a meditation today, using tea. So I wanted to just say a few words about stress, and yeah, and I've just said that a couple of people have popped on. I'll just see if there's any comments. I'll be watching out for comments, but if I miss them, I will go back to them at the end of the session. So when we talk about stress management, what we really need to be thinking about is what are the key things that can work to be an antidote to stress. So what are the opposites? And really, to my mind, and in the way that I've worked personally in my own practice, but also with teaching people, what works is calm. So the opposite to stress is calm. And so what you're wanting to think about is where you can start to bring calm practices into your life, so things that give you that inner calm. So it's as simple as that. You know, it's not rocket science in that way. It's just, what can you do to bring a sense of inner calm? And one of the things that I know works is when you calm the senses, the five senses, you know, you calm the mind. And so when we come into something like tea meditation, we are working with the senses. So we're working with touch, you know, just, you know, the sense of touching the cup. We're working with taste and smell. That, you know, there's no sound. However, we do come into silence, and for me, silence can be a very interesting sound, and there are lots of different textures of silence within sound. So a lot of textures of sound within silence. So when we are stimulating the senses when we come into something like a tea meditation or any meditation. And I'll just add that even if you haven't got tea, I'll encourage you to use this S.T.O.P meditation as well, without tea. And for those of you on the replay, again, just let me know what tea you find calms you. I'm using chamomile because chamomile is known for its quite relaxing qualities. I've mixed it with fresh mint just because I'm not that keen on the taste of chamomile, so mint is quite a nice twist to it, and I've got a little bit of honey as well. Yeah, so as I said, it's as simple as calming the senses. The other aspect to calming the mind is calming the breath, and that is a separate practice. I'll be talking a little bit more about that next week. I did do a breath practice last week for those of you who are interested in using breath practices to calm the mind. So you can check out my YouTube channel, because I record all of these tea time sessions on my YouTube channel, which is Your Mindful Month. Sorry, that's my podcast. Sorry about that. My YouTube channel is Mindful Yoga with Astra. Sorry about that. Yeah, so my podcast, which actually is coming out this week in time for Stress Awareness Week, is called Your Mindful Month. And I'll actually go into some of the stuff that I'm talking about today in a little bit more detail in the podcast. So do check out the podcast, and anything that I do is either on the YouTube channel or it's on my website, which is therapyyoga.co.uk. So yeah, so what I thought we would do is come into this tea meditation where we're stimulating the senses to calm the mind. And today I've brought some tincture bells, and tincture bells are known in the Buddhist tradition, and it is again this idea of using one of the senses to calm. And last week and a few weeks ago, I've been using a singing bowl, and that's a very tranquil Sorry, I've got noises in my kitchen. A very tranquil sound. The tincture bells are a little bit more, and you'll hear it in a mo, but the tincture bells is more to kind of get ready and to feel alert in your meditation, because one of the things that meditation isn't is relaxation. Although meditation does help with relaxation, there is a sense of that you want to cultivate presence. So I find that the tincture bell really helps to alert you to becoming present into the practice. So I hope for those of you who are joining me live, even though you haven't commented at this stage, I hope were able to grab a cup of tea while I was rambling on. But if you haven't got tea, that's absolutely fine. Just see how you find the stop meditation. So we're going to begin. So just taking this time to stop. Just pause. And then I'm going to encourage you to grab your tea if you have tea. Notice the touch of the hand on the glass or the cup. And either take a sip of awareness, or you can just take a conscious breath, just noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. And so the second part of this awareness practice is just to observe. Observe where you might feel relaxed in the body, sitting well. Maybe a sense of the shoulders moving down towards your seat. Maybe a sense of your seat on the chair. But also observe what's here for you today. And we're doing this in a friendly fashion, so without a sense of judging what's here. Just acknowledging maybe some of the triggers that you negotiate on a daily basis. Just acknowledge that they're here. And can you apply the sense of ease, possibly, that you might be experiencing in the shoulders and your seat and your breath? Can you just apply that to any emotional tension or physical tension you're aware of at this moment? Just allow ease to meet tension. And how does that feel in the body? Noticing and observing the breath. And for those of you with tea, using this time as an opportunity to take another sip of awareness. With or without tea. Again, just being aware of every conscious breath, that flow in and out of the body. And so the last part of this meditation, this stop meditation, is proceed. So just as you've attended to any feelings, emotions, or physical sense of stress in this moment, maybe bring to mind or project where you can use this in everyday life as a tool. Can you recall where you need this sense of pause and ease? And just taking the last conscious breath in and out, preparing for sound to close this meditation. So I hope you found that helpful. If there are any queries or questions around that meditation, or if there's any observations that you made, I really encourage you to just take some notes, because one of the things about tackling stress is remembering the things that counter stress, and not only remembering them but doing them regularly. So you might be familiar with the saying, what we repeat we become. But one of the things is that the body and the mind remembers the stress response. So it's almost like it's an automatic response that sometimes we can't help. So we shouldn't approach it from a perspective of personal faults, because we all have that ability to make our thoughts and emotions transform into stress. But what we need to do is transform that into something else. And we start with countering that stress through practices that we can be putting into our lives daily, weekly, whatever it is. And then we use those things to proceed into maybe pressured situations. So stress and pressure are slightly different. So it could be the stop practice you're using if you're facing a lot of pressure. I find that the stop has helped me with pressure points, because it's very easy to remember, to stop, to just take a conscious breath, to observe, and to proceed, or to just move forward. Yeah, and the other thing to sort of say also is that we're not talking about trauma, because, you know, there are different scales of stress. As I said, there's pressure, but there's also trauma. And actually, STOP is not something that I would say, if you know, has suffered with trauma, we're talking, you know, grief and things that that need deeper healing. I would say that STOP is more of a stopgap. It's more something that you use if you're faced with a very pressured situation, or you're finding that you just need some tools to deal with maybe some anxiety issues. But as I said, trauma and kind of clinical anxiety is different, and there's deeper work and deeper healing work that needs to be done. So sometimes STOP is used as a way of just becoming aware of what's here, and then, you know, the kind of deeper work happens after that. So I just thought I would share you know, the context in which you might use STOP. So yeah, do let me know if you're on the replay, how you found that. I'm just going to check if there are any comments on the chat, because I wouldn't want to not answer you back. But if no, I'm not seeing any comments, but if there is any comments afterwards, I will reply on the chat. So yeah, so tomorrow I am teaching a community class, so that's November the 4th at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in yoga for stress, and that is kind of specific sequences around stress, and working with a bit of energy work, you might be familiar with things like chakras, and things like that, then you can log on and register for my class tomorrow, and you can do that on Facebook. Again, you can do that on therapyyoga.co.uk as well. So yeah, it would be good to see you. If you know that you need some tools to manage stress, I will be sharing some of those on the mat. So it'll be really about how, if you've got more time and space, to come into practices that you might do at home to manage your time. And I know, you know, for the next month in the UK, we will be at home, and, you know, whether you come onto my classes, do find something that you can do in the body, because creating inner calm is a body-mind therapy. You know, it is something that needs to happen in the body and the mind as well. So yeah, so that's me. I'm gonna start my stress management course, which is a yoga course again, next Wednesday, and that will be 6 to 7 for the next 5 weeks. So after the community class tomorrow, you can sign up for my 5-week yoga for stress release course as well. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm very grateful for you joining me. I do hope you found the practice helpful, and I hope to see you very soon. So go well, everyone. Take care. Bye.